Welcome to our story. Today, we will visit a remote cliff where an inspiring journey begins. In the quiet stillness of a misty dawn, the ocean stretches vast and mysterious, carrying whispers from the distant horizon. The title of the story appears, The Brave Little Lighthouse. This is a journey about finding your own light in the storms of life. On a tall cliff overlooking the sea stood a small gray stone lighthouse, lonely and humble against the greatness of the world around it. The little lighthouse had stood there through countless seasons, silently watching the world with quiet thoughtfulness and solitude. Far away at sea, giant ships sailed proudly across the waves. The little lighthouse watched them and felt small and alone. It often wondered whether it had any purpose in such a vast world where everything else seemed powerful and magnificent. Let us listen and learn together, because even the smallest light can change a destiny in the darkest night. During the day, the ocean looked majestic and radiant. Beneath the crystal clear water, a lively world shimmered with endless colors. Schools of tiny fish danced playfully on the surface, creating sparkling ripples under the warm sunlight of noon. The beauty of the sea was breathtaking. Everything seemed strong, free, and wonderfully grand. The lighthouse looked at its reflection in the water, comparing itself to the greatness of the ocean. It felt ordinary and useless. It whispered, "I am only a small pile of stones. I can never compare to the vast ocean. I truly have no value." But it did not know that every existence in this world carries meaning. And true strength often lies deep within the soul. We learn the word insignificant, which means small or unimportant. That is exactly how the lighthouse feels at this moment. Next is majestic, a word describing the ocean's grand and magnificent beauty. This contrast only deepened the lighthouse's insecurity. The word compare means to measure yourself against others. Never compare your beginning to someone else's brightest chapter, or you may always feel inadequate. The bright daylight slowly faded. The lighthouse remained lost in negative thoughts, unaware of what was about to happen. Suddenly, the sky changed. Dark clouds rolled in, covering the sun and warning of a violent storm. The storm drew near, wind screamed through the rocks, and the world became cold and gloomy. Lightning flashed across the horizon, tearing through the darkening sky, while distant thunder echoed through the air. The once blue sea turned gray and threatening. Furious waves rose higher and higher. Massive waves crashed against the cliff as if they wanted to swallow everything whole. The little lighthouse felt the ground trembling beneath it. It shook with fear before the terrifying power of nature. But deep inside, a survival instinct began to awaken. Heavy rain poured from the sky, turning the world white and blinding. Darkness covered the cliff, and everything became lost in confusion. Amid the raging storm, a small ship struggled helplessly. Violent waves tossed it around, leaving it completely lost. The sailors were terrified. They searched desperately for a sign, a guiding light, but all they saw was endless darkness. From afar, the lighthouse saw the ship in danger. It understood that if it did nothing, the ship would crash against the rocks. There was little time left. The ship drifted dangerously close to sharp hidden reefs where death waited silently. In that life or death moment, the lighthouse gathered all its strength. The gears inside began to move, preparing for its mission. It ignored all fears about being small. The lamp at the top burst into life, radiating warmth and power. A brilliant golden beam pierced through the rain and darkness. It was the light of hope and extraordinary courage. The light swept steadily across the furious sea, revealing every raging wave as it signaled to the struggling ship. At last, the light reached the ship. The sailors cheered with joy as they finally saw a path to safety. Guided by the light, the captain quickly turned the ship away from the deadly reefs surrounding them. The lighthouse stood firm against the screaming wind and pouring rain. For the first time, it no longer felt small or insignificant. It had become a beacon of hope, proof that light can always overcome darkness and hardship. An important word here is resilience, meaning the ability to recover and remain strong after hardship. Another word is courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act even when you are afraid. And finally, beacon, a guiding light. Each of us can become a beacon for someone else. Eventually, the storm passed, the rain stopped, and the dark clouds slowly drifted away, returning peace to the sea. A new day began with gentle sunlight. The ocean became calm like a giant mirror reflecting the blue sky. The little ship safely reached the harbor after a terrifying night, grateful to have found its way home.
3 cheers
From the
for
distance,
the lighthouse!
the sailors
Hip, hip,
waved toward the
hooray!
lighthouse.
Hooray!
They owed their lives to its saving light. Morning sunlight warmed the lighthouse's stone walls. Raindrops still clung to the rocks like sparkling diamonds. Once again, the lighthouse looked at its reflection in the water. But this time, it no longer saw weakness. It saw a hero. The lighthouse smiled at the sea. It realized that true value is not measured by size, but by the strength and light you share. Size does not matter. What matters is the light you carry within your heart. You are never too small to make a difference. Remember this message. You are never too small to help others or do great things for the world. The lighthouse's new confidence completely changed the way it viewed life. It now stood proudly, ready for future challenges. Now, let us review the important vocabulary we learned through this meaningful story. First is insignificant. Repeat after me. Insignificant. This word describes something very small or unimportant. Next is majestic. Once again, majestic. It describes something grand, beautiful, and impressive. The third word is resilience. Resilience. It means the ability to endure and overcome difficult challenges. The fourth word is beacon. Beacon. It means a guiding light, a source of hope or inspiration. And finally, steadfast. Steadfast. It means remaining loyal and determined no matter what happens. We also learned the structure. No matter how, you can still. This expression helps us talk about overcoming obstacles. For example, no matter how small you feel, you can still shine brightly. Believe in your inner strength. Now it is your turn. Repeat these words loudly and clearly to improve your pronunciation and memory. Learning vocabulary through stories helps you remember words longer and understand how they are used in emotional real-life situations. Daily practice is the key to success. You are doing wonderfully. Keep up your amazing learning spirit. As sunset arrived, another day passed. The lighthouse prepared once again for its noble duty through the coming night. Each of us carries a unique light within. In your darkest moments, remember the story of the brave little lighthouse. Never stop searching for your own light. Let it guide both you and those around you. Thank you for listening to this story with us. We hope it brought you inspiration and valuable lessons. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you will not miss more meaningful English stories in the future. We look forward to seeing you again on our next journey of language and self-discovery. Keep your light shining brightly. Have a wonderful and energetic day. Goodbye, and see you again in our next videos.